So I will begin. I'm talking about Seville, oranges, and weird ways to use them. And I'll start now. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I don't know if any of you also experienced this, but on Sunday, my Instagram feed was overrun with pictures of green and white striped flags. These flags had on them an emblem of a man dressed in a very chic orange skirt with a strange kind of orange necklace, and this man was just relaxing with his two pet lions, as far as I could see. In most of the cases I saw, these flags were attached to images that people had uploaded of what they were eating for breakfast. Now, people uploading pictures of their breakfast to Instagram is not exactly a new phenomenon. I'm sure we can all testify to that. But these breakfasts were slightly different than what one would usually see on Instagram. They were the type of breakfasts that the average Irish person would probably look at with a very skeptical eye, and that they would probably describe using phrases like very continental. Anyway, back to the flags. Much to my embarrassment, I wasn't exactly sure what this flag was or what it had to do with very continental looking breakfasts. But either way, these posts were a welcome change to my usual feed, which is primarily just drag queens, cute dog videos, and Britney Spears posts. And yes, before you ask, that list is in order. So it was maybe after the fifth picture of bread and olive oil with a little glass of orange juice on the side that I decided enough is enough. I am going to take 10 seconds out of my busy schedule to Google what is going on here with this flag and these breakfasts. And I'm very glad that I did, because I learned something new. As it turns out, this green and white flag I mentioned is the Andalusia flag. And the bread with olive oil and orange juice, I can assume, is a traditional Andalusian breakfast from the region of Andalusia in Spain, the autonomous community. The reason for these flags and these Andalusia flags and these Andalusian breakfasts appearing on my Instagram feed this weekend? Well, that is because on the 28th of February, Andalusia Day, or Dia de Andalucía in Spanish, was celebrated to commemorate the referendum on the Statute of Autonomy of Andalusia. This referendum occurred on the 28th of February 1980, and in this referendum, the Andalusian electorate voted for the statute that made Andalusia an autonomous community of Spain. As I am sure many of you are aware, Andalusia is the southernmost autonomous community in peninsular Spain. Andalusia accounts for 17.2% of Spain's total area, and with 8.47 million inhabitants, it is the most populous autonomous community in Spain. Its capital city is Seville, and it is Seville that I would like to focus on in my speech this evening, and the oranges that grow there. So when I hear the word Seville, I immediately think of oranges, and memories come flooding back to me of my mother trying to force young me to like marmalade. Just to let you know, this venture was unsuccessful. I still hate marmalade. But I'm getting off topic. So articles have recently been published on a very unusual way in which the city of Seville has started to use its oranges, and it's using these oranges to generate clean energy. It's not something you associate with clean energy. Oranges, energy. In my case anyway, I didn't. So whether this has something to do with the timing of Andalusia Day or whether it's just pure coincidence, either way, it's very good publicity for Seville and by extension for Andalusia, possibly even better publicity than the Instagram pictures of bread and olive oil. Who knows? So let's talk about the oranges now. It all starts with the oranges that grow in Seville. Seville oranges, as they are popularly known where I come from. Just to give you a little bit of background on these oranges, they are very bitter oranges. They originate in Asia and were allegedly introduced to Spain by the Arabs around 1,000 years ago. And they have adapted very well to the southern Spanish climate. The trees have really taken root in southern Spain, and apparently they are also very resistant to pollution. People often refer to the city of Seville as the world's largest orange grove, and this doesn't surprise me at all, given that the region produces around 15,000 tons of oranges each year. What's interesting about them, however, is that the Spanish don't generally eat these oranges. As I said, they're very bitter. People don't really like to eat them. So what happens with them? Well, they get sent to Britain and Ireland to be made into marmalade. Seville oranges are also a key ingredient in popular orange-flavoured liqueurs such as Cointreau or Grand Marnier, for example. So I imagine that some of these oranges, while a lot are sent to Britain and Ireland, some are also sent to France to make Cointreau and Grand Marnier. So I'm getting a little bit off topic, but something I also found out was that the origin of marmalade, the preserve, is surrounded by myth and legend. There are countless theories on who first came up with this sharp-tasting orange preserve or where its name comes from, but the one that I found most interesting was this. Legend has it that when Mary, Queen of Scots, was ill, her doctor concocted a sugary orange mixture in order to help her get better. And thus, marmalade was born. Marmalade was the sugary orange mixture. In this story, the name marmalade came from the French Marie est malade, which of course translates into Mary is ill. If you say Marie est malade 3 times in quick succession, I guess the result kind of sounds like marmalade. But as I say, surrounded by mystery, we don't know if this is true or not. That was a little aside. Now to get back to the oranges. So according to an article published a week ago in the UK newspaper The Guardian, between spring and winter, the city's 48,000 orange trees deposit 5.7 million kilograms of bitter oranges onto the streets of Seville. The article goes on to describe that this deposited fruit is a hazard for pedestrians and a headache for the city's cleaning department. Of course, these oranges look very pretty while they're on the trees, and I'm sure they're quite characteristic of the city of Seville, but once they fall onto the streets or onto the roads, they get squashed by cars. And so then they become sticky with juice and they attract flies. So what does the city have to do? Clean them up, and they have to employ around 200 people to go and collect these squashed oranges. So what to do about these oranges just lying on the street and causing problems underfoot? Well, this is where the city's municipal water company comes in, Emasesa. And Emasesa comes in here with a new scheme to turn these unwanted leftover oranges into clean electricity. The initial scheme, launched by Emasesa, which I will mention again in the speech, will use 35 tons of fruit to generate clean energy. And what will this energy be used for? Well, it will be used to run a water purification plant. But how do we get enough energy to run a water purification plant from some stray oranges? Well, under this new initiative, the oranges will be sent to an existing facility. This facility already deals with taking organic matter and turning it into clean energy, clean and usable energy. So the infrastructure is already there. That's a good thing. Once the fruit arrives at this facility, the oranges begin to ferment. At this point, I should give you a little bit of a trigger warning as I'm about to attempt to explain something scientific. So as I understand it, The juice produced by the oranges is fructose, and this fructose is made up of very short carbon chains. These, don't ask me to explain what these carbon chains are, but what I do know is that they're significant because these short carbon chains have a very high energetic performance. They release a lot of energy during the fermentation process. So our super energetic fermenting fruit releases methane gas as the fruit ferments. And naturally, this gas can then be captured and used to power the generator in this water purification plant. And voila, there you have it, clean energy. It's fantastic. We've all heard people talking about their phone or their tablet, for example, being dead, being out of battery, and using the phrase, my phone, my tablet is out of juice. But this scheme gives a whole new level of accuracy to this lovely turn of phrase. So I really like this initiative, and there are many reasons why I like this initiative. Firstly, because it is a splendid example of working with what you have, something we should all try to do more. The city of Seville has a problem. Rogue oranges are attacking pedestrians' feet and gathering flies. So what did they do? They decided to use them to produce clean energy. It's genius. Initiatives like this give us hope for a circular economy where we make better use of the things that we already have at our disposal. I also really appreciate how this system will use infrastructure that is already in place to generate this clean energy. The energy is being put to good use. It's going to the water purification plants. And this is good because these water purification plants consume almost 40% of the energy required to provide clean water and sanitation to the city of Seville. However, what I will say is that these initial 35 tons are just a fraction of the leftover oranges that could actually be recycled. According to the head of Emasesa's environmental department, Benigno Lopez, the city would need to invest around €250,000 if they were to be able to recycle all of the city's leftover oranges in this way. Future plans like this are already being made to further this initiative, whereby the city will be able to produce enough energy from leftover fruit to go beyond just powering the water purification plants and to move towards actually putting surplus energy back into the grid of the city. So there you have it. Vitamin C, reducing emissions, energy self-sufficiency, and the circular economy. What more could you want from these amazing Seville oranges? You may have heard of the Netflix series Orange is the New Black, but in this case, it looks like orange is the new green. Thank you.